you probably grew up like me. The reason I say that is because 90-something% plus of individuals grow up, mediocre. I wouldn't say extremely poor, because I believe poverty is more of a third world country thing in America. I don't know if we can completely claim poverty. I grew up food stamps, food bank lines, the whole nine, but my mom did everything to make sure me and my sister had a good American life. Mediocre though. You don't talk about money, you don't ask anybody about money, you don't talk about none of those things. I wanted to put together just a quick little episode. I've been in entrepreneurship, I would say, sales for the last 6 years. It'll be 7 years in September. I'll be 26 in September, and I feel like I've lived a lot of life, but then again, every time a year goes around, I feel like I've got a lot more life to live, and more so just a lot more to learn. I reflect back years ago and I think, wow, you were so young, immature, and so dumb. I guess there's really no better way to say it. And so now I was inspired by an individual. Hormozi has this perspective. If you know you're going to look ahead and you're going to think to yourself, man, I could have done this differently. I could have said that to that person. I could have had better interactions in that relationship. I could have done better with the money. I could have done all of these things that we reflect and think on. Why not try where you're at now in life to project 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead and ask yourself, what would future you think about the decisions you're making today with your money, with your health, with your relationships, with all of the people that you're interacting with on a day-to-day basis. And so I came up with my 10 rules to survive and thrive in 2024 and so on in the 21st century. Here's what I believe at 25 years old that has helped me. And I'll keep number 1 for the very end. So we'll jump right into number 2. Number 2 is you need to move fast. You need to move urgently. I've noticed that individuals that move with speed, even down to communication, one of my media partners, John Zaleski, it's like this. He literally came in, he's like, who do you know that responds faster, is ready to go like I am? And I'm thinking to myself, like, no, nobody really. You know what I mean? And that's why he's going to be a 7-figure individual. He's part of our insurance deal and he's part of our media deal as well. And I'm thinking, hey, he doesn't see it now, but I know if he just stays consistent and dedicates a decade of his life in a combination of these two areas with media and insurance, he's going to make millions of dollars. And one of the main reasons why is he moves fast. He communicates fast, he moves fast, and that's pretty much all I need. Is I operate on a level where it's like, I'm trying to go now. There's a phenomenal book I read that I would recommend that would tie into this move urgently, and I got it from Patrick Bet-David. It's The Hypomanic Edge, and it gave me comfort like it did, I would imagine, PBD explained, that you can be a little on edge, a little, as people would describe, maybe a little nuts on people that you'll find and you'll discover in life that want things done immediately their way, and they want to go out and pave a way to get things done. If there is no way, they'll go make a way. You've got to move fast. So that's number 2. Number 3 is you've got to stay unemotionally paranoid. This is obviously inspired also from PBD, but I added in the unemotional, and I know as wise of a man and as wealthy as PBD has accumulated for himself, he's moving this way, where what are the facts for the relationships that are closest to you this year? I immediately, when I think of paranoia, I think about people that are in my life, like down to the family, on what are their motives. And sometimes there's levels of motives. I'm not saying that everybody's family is out to get them, but sometimes there's short-term seasons where your families have hidden motives or things where they want you to maybe go to college or skip college, or they want you to do something with the kids, or they want you to, make an adjustment with living your life in a certain way. And it's the ulterior motive is selfish, but you might need to put it on the back burner or say no to it, identify it through paranoia, and realize that's not the best decision for you right now. You need to do what you need to do to get your dreams. I like Hormozi said, I had to let my dad's dreams die so mine could come to fruition. So who do you need to be paranoid about in this season of life? What do you need to be paranoid about? We're in election year. I'm not looking to buy a home right now. I could buy a home this year. I could buy a very nice home, but I told my mom we're not buying a home. Unless it's like a deal given by God, we're not buying a home. We're going to stay alert. We're going to put money up, and we're going to keep cash flowing and generating more revenue and helping people and developing ourselves and see what happens with the economy and with the world. And that's paranoia. People have to understand that's not pessimism. I'm not looking for negative outcomes, but I'm also not extremely just completely lacking wisdom and thinking everything's going to be perfect. I don't need to worry about people leaving, quitting, backstabbing, situations exploding, economy having extreme inflation. Maybe there's internal war, whatever it could be, extremities. I'm prepared mentally and logically, and I'm trying to study and read and I, in a sense, just make sure I'm absorbing as much information as possible that's applicable. I don't want to waste my time with things that aren't going to generate productivity and growth, but you've got to stay unemotionally paranoid. Look at the facts and don't disregard things that are very close to you as well. The third thing is stay unemotionally paranoid. The fourth thing is recruit always like you've lost your best person. Recruit always like you've lost your best person. A lot of people, low-level minded individuals, and I would say, for lack of better terminology, just people that operate in mediocrity. When they hear the word recruit, they think of scam. They think scamming. But then when you look at high-level people, they're always recruiting until the day that they leave this world. They're recruiting people into their circle. There's not even necessarily even always to do business. Just like-minded individuals, I want to recruit you into my circle. What is it you love? What do you like? What are you about? What are your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, your values, your virtues? Is there alignment between us? Because I like what you're about, so I want to recruit you into my circle. That doesn't mean I'm recruiting you into some type of contract. There's no contractual agreement I'm always looking for. But for my insurance business, yeah, there is. Like, I'm just looking at the numbers. Like, if we got to 10,000 leaders, we're a $1 billion insurance company overnight. We got 100 right now. So you do the math. We're a $10 million company right now. To get to $1 billion is just a numerical thing. We just need to multiply our leader count. But I look at people that have changed the world, have impacted the world. I look at the Alexander the Greats and the generals he recruited and he delegated and placed and all over the European empire, Roman Empire he amassed. Attila the Hun. I look at Genghis Khan. I look at Julius Caesar. I'm studying these individuals that have just taken over the world. And then I think of like phenomenal presidents. I think of like one of my presidents that I recently studied was Andrew Jackson. Recruiters. Every single person you admire in history is a recruiter, and they're always recruiting like their general was just taken out in war. And that translates into the 21st century in war is if you're not recruiting your people, goes into number 5. You got to re-recruit your people in your circle. Why should I stay in your circle? And I know people, it's like, well, that's kind of an entitlement mindset if people are questioning, but here's why. Because when you don't see value, it's like in a relationship. If you're not constantly dating your wife, your husband, somebody else is going to start valuing your wife or husband and start offering dates and offering to bring more to the table. And if there's not this genuine direction of like always dating and always bringing value, somebody else is going to look to come in and say, hey, I can do this, this, and this for you. Are they still appreciating you? Are they still dating you? Are they still looking at you like you were that day one person when they were so excited to get you? Or is it day 10,000 and you just push to the side and just walk past you and nothing's the same? It's the same for business, friendships. You've got to re-recruit. You've got to re-recruit. So 4 and 5 go hand in hand. You got to recruit great people always in your circle. You know, my mom always told me growing up, birds of a feather, they flock together. If you hang around with 4 bums, Tristan, she'd say, you're going to be 5. But I don't see you being a bum. My mom always made me feel like a superstar. And I was not a superstar kid whatsoever. I can't think of anything I was a superstar in. If you hang around superstars, if you get around people going somewhere, you're next. You're going somewhere. You're next. Stay locked in. Hold tight to the vision. Number 6 is you've got to develop yourself to become a superhuman amongst the meek. And the reason I put meek instead of weak is because there's a lot of strong men and women out there that are just imprisoned within their limiting meek thoughts, their mediocre thoughts. And it's not that they lack strength. They lack capacity. They lack the ability to, you hold the keys to the prison doors of your mind that tell you you can't be enough. You'll never be enough. You can never go make it in sales. You can never go be a champion. You can never learn another language. You can never have a successful relationship. All of these internal demons and these internal, what are they called? Generational curses. You hold the key in your mind to destroy these curses and free yourself. Develop yourself into the superhuman, the superhero that you aspire to be like. When you look in the mirror and you think to yourself, man, like for me, one of my favorite movies is King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and very few people know the movie. It's Charlie Hunnam, right? Have you seen Sons of Anarchy? You know the actor I'm talking about? You know who I'm talking about? I think this dude's name is Charlie Hunnam. I don't know. I'm not the best with the actors. I know I call myself a movie fanatic, and the actors, memorizing actors and lyrics, I got to get better at it. But King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, 300 is a top 3 movie for me, and then Troy. If you look at the similarities between all, they're all war movies based off of an individual war hero. You've got King Arthur, phenomenal selfless leader, phenomenal courageous leader. You've gotten Troy, you've got Achilles. I watch this every night for probably 10 plus years of my life to go to bed. I had sleeping issues growing up as a kid. I just hated the dark. I would watch war movies, and hopefully that would help me at 10 years old to go to sleep. Achilles, this was more of a selfish leader, but he was ruthless. He was a warrior. He was intimidated by none, and he would do everything to get the job done. Number 3 is 300, King Leonidas. This is somebody willing to die for his men, and he didn't need an army. He needed 300. He needed a few loyal men that had bought into him and the vision of, we are going to go make a change. We're going to go revolutionize these barbaric or these bureaucratic individuals, these bureaucratic individuals. That's another great book from PBD, is Barbarians and Bureaucrats. And we're going to change the game. I think of those individuals, and that was the motivation, the inspiration, the vision I had as a kid of like, that's what I want to be. How do I become him? Well, I know what I can control. I can work out. I can read, become more intelligent, more strategic in my maneuvering, because things aren't swords and shields today. Things are data, presentations, marketing, attention, human skills, communication skills. The gladiator today is the individual that performs in the marketing scheme of things. How do you present yourself? What type of attention do you... The man or woman who gets the most attention today is the Leonidas, is the Achilles, is the King Arthur of the Colosseum. When you cheer for Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Bernard Arnault, these are the top 3 wealthiest men in the world right now. These are the gladiators. If you want to get in the ring, you've got to be willing to go through what they went through. You've got to develop yourself into that superhuman, and it starts with how you see yourself is how you treat yourself. How you treat yourself is what you become. Number 7, always read and increase knowledge to be prepared for war, but also to become wealthy. And why I use these 2 words, they're very extreme. War and wealth are very, when you grow up in mediocrity, you probably grew up like me. The reason I say that is because 90-something% plus of individuals grow up, mediocre. I wouldn't say extremely poor, because I believe poverty is more of a third world country thing in America. I don't know if we can completely claim poverty. I grew up food stamps, food bank lines, the whole nine, but my mom did everything to make sure me and my sister had a good American life. Mediocre though. You don't talk about money. You don't ask anybody about money. You don't talk about none of those things. You talk about the news. You talk about politics to an extent, but you don't ask anybody who they're voting for. And these are all low-level frequency things. This isn't how the high-frequency individuals, they're talking about money because it's a tool. It'd be like hiding your hammers. Why are you hiding your hammers and screwdrivers? Are we going to build something or not? So, and what I reference here is reading and educating yourself is a high-frequency thing. Reason being is, back in the day, if you watch any type of war movie or you study any type of history, if you really wanted to dominate a people in a nation, strip away their education. Take away their education. Infiltrate their education. This is the long-term game. Is take over their education and put them in a position where a couple decades go by and nobody knows how to read. Nobody knows anything. And so now you can easily woo and woe these people like waves. Go this way and go that way, because if not, here's what's going to happen. They're uneducated. All they know is the thing or person in front of them that is now the motive that's moving these individuals. And so reading isn't just a mark of education, but it's a mark of wealth internally. You're increasing your internal wealth and well-being and value. And you're preparing strategically, because have you thought of, if you keep it very simple, have you thought of if there were to be some type of invasion of your home, of your city, of your town, of the world, of America. These are things that, again, low-level frequency people, they don't take into consideration. All these other countries can have warfare, but have we not considered it's only been 100-something plus years? Obviously, my history isn't going to be 100% accurate right here, but what's 100 plus, 150 plus years since the Civil War? Yeah. Right? What? That's only been that's just a grandparent away, 2 grandparents away. In the next 70, 80 years, are you going to be mentally prepared enough? And how are you going to do so? You've got to read. History repeats itself. As I studied all 44 presidents, all 46 presidents over this last, 2-3 months? We're 2 months into the new year. I think the biggest thing that came to mind is Democrats, Republicans, they're all alike. They're all alike. All of it. History, it's all like that. People just come up with new names to identify themselves as, but all human beings, history repeats itself. Absolute power absolutely corrupts, and the individuals that get taken advantage of, that get destroyed, are the ones that are uneducated. You've got to make reading and developing yourself a top priority. I think immediately top 3 books off the top of my mind right now that I go back to is Think and Grow Rich, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell, and How to Win Friends and Influence People. There's a lot of phenomenal books I've read this year, and I'm going to make a list. But again, I'm 6 years into consistently reading. I'm looking and studying these individuals that are ahead of me, like Patrick Bet-David, Alex Hormozi, that have got 2 decades on me. Guys, we're talking about I'm only 20% in so far. I don't know if I can even compare myself yet. But I told my mentor yesterday, Simon, I said, listen, I'm trying to go on a Mahomes run. I want to be considered a GOAT in the early stages, not the later stages. Time is so valuable. It's running out always. Time and money, they're always being used. But only one can get brought back. You can't rewind time, no matter how much money you get. You have to read and educate yourself. I spent the most time on number 6 so far. Number 7 was always reading and increase your knowledge to be prepared for war and also to generate wealth. Number 8, always train physical fitness and endurance to defend self and family with the ability to go as long as needed without losing wind, without losing oxygen. Endurance. Another phenomenal book, Endurance. And this is another PBD reference, but when I think of endurance, I think of every Monday morning I do my cardio. Very simple cardio. And I do cardio throughout the week because I do jiu-jitsu, and that's submission wrestling. It's hour of wrestling every single day. That's harder than my Monday morning. But my Monday morning is more of a mental battle because I get up, it's 3:45, 4 a.m. I get to the gym by 4:30. I'm getting on the treadmill by 4:40. It's only 10 minutes. You're probably thinking, wow. I put it on full incline, and you're going to think it's even easier now because I go 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off at 4 speed. Go give that a shot for 10 minutes. Go 10 reps, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. You let me know. Full incline. The incline goes up to 25% grade at Lifetime Fitness here in Oak Brook. It literally, it's like you're running up a hill. You're doing it 10 reps, 10 hill sprints per se. I think of this in my mind. If somebody, or for some reason, there were to be a long, drawn-out altercation physically, and I needed to protect my little sister, my mother, would I lose oxygen? These are just things that go, I know, we live in America and land of the free and opportunity and nothing happens and everybody's safe and protected, but I don't want to risk it. I don't want to gamble on what if something were to pop off. Well, your Second Amendment, I understand that. But what if things were to go south? Logically thinking, staying paranoid. Are you in shape? Are you able, physically, are you able to protect the people that you love? To protect the ones you love? Physically, can you endure miles to go get water and food? Protect your family, run them to safety? Can you do it? It's a question I ask myself every single day. So, number 8, always train physical fitness, keep your endurance up. Number 9, I'm working on this one. Keep $1 million liquid cash. You probably need more. I need to get around individuals. I know my mentor, he tells me, you want to get up to $1 million liquid cash minimum, and you want to get there as quickly as possible. It puts you in a position of strategic power because now you've got the ability, if things do pop off, you probably don't need to worry about the endurance as much. If you can just hop on a jet and go to an island with all your rich buddies and just wait things out and call plays from a bunker. You know what I mean? Like Zuckerberg, he just built. You saw that that bunker he built in Hawaii?
I haven't seen it.
I mean, I haven't seen pictures of it, but $100 million bunker. Listen, you get into a position where you got $100 million you can dispose and just immediately build a bunker. You're talking about one of the richest men in the world. But you put yourself, if you don't love money, let's just go back to paranoia and say things did go south. Imagine being in a position where in a matter of seconds, you could assemble your family, get them to a bunker, and survive anything. Would you mind that? Would that be an issue for you? That's one of my desires, is to be in a position where, hey, listen, we're about to get on Air Force One. We're about to go to our bunker in Hawaii. And we're about to survive this Thanos attack in Hawaii, chilling. We're going to be swimming in the ocean with the pigs, and we're going to be making plays and calls with the greatest minds of the world all assembled. There's only one other end of the spectrum. You at the top or you at the bottom. It's your choice, your life, your choice, your mind, your choice. You can work for it. $1 million liquid cash. And here, I operate, and I've experienced over the last 6 years of making multiple seven figures. And you're like, well, why don't you have $1 million liquid cash? You operate on a 10-to-1 ratio minimum from my experience. Listen to Hermosi, listen to anybody that's actually getting money. If you want to keep one, you got to make 10. And you want to make it in a short span of time. So I haven't even made $10 million yet. Very close, but I'm not at 10 yet. And that's over 6 years. So you do the math. You want to make it in probably a 12 to 24 month span so you can hold on to one. After taxes, expenses, people don't realize as you start creeping up and those large amount of numbers being accumulated and making and generating, it costs to go up. If you want to make $1 million, they said you got to give up 6 figures. If you want to make 10 million, you got to give up 7 figures. If you want to go to 100 million, you got to give up the 20 mil, the 10 mil. If you want to go to $1 billion, you got to give up hundreds of millions of dollars. You got to get money saved up. And this is something I've fought because simultaneously I'm a very aggressive investor back into the business. I believe in giving my people, our company, the best shot, the best leads. In insurance, nobody has the best training, the best incentives in proportion to the revenue we generate. Nobody gives out more than we do. Show me anybody that was doing $5-10 million a year in business and giving out what we've given out, what we've done, what we've invested back into. It doesn't compare. The time, the energy, the money doesn't compare. So you've got to find that balance because you're not going to save your way to a billionaire. You're not going to save your way to a millionaire, but you can find a balance in investing into your business, into your focused areas, and then setting aside a percentage. It's usually a 10-to-1. Usually a 10-to-1. Second to last, I don't know if you've made it this far. We're probably clubbing up on 15, 20 minutes. What are we on the video, 15, 20 minutes? I imagine we're 15, 20 minutes in. But second to last one, if you've made it this far, congratulations, you're somewhat focused. The key really isn't the notes you've gotten or this video. The real key and where you really get wealthy is implementation and consistency. Can you take what I've discovered over the last 6 years and help me make a couple bucks and become a better man? And can you implement it yourself for 6 years? Reach out. Hope you do. 6 years later from now, I'd love somebody to reach out 6 years from today after this video drops in a week and says, Tristan, I did everything you said. I've got $1 million cash. I've become a great man. We went through a physical altercation. I was able to protect my family. I've read so many books. I've done all of these things. I truly appreciate and value you sharing. I didn't create any of this. Listen to all the people I've referenced. Education is not original creation. Education is just copying and absorbing the individuals that have come before us and found success, have gone through all the wrong turns so that you could save a year of your life and just listen and implement. What a fool is it for someone to listen and not implement? Even more foolish than the person that doesn't even hear it. I think it's more of a shame for someone to hear and not do than someone not to hear and make a mistake. Think of this. So the second to last, number 10, is spend for the business you want, not based off of what you have. I'm always spending and investing my time, my energy, the money from the business in proportion to where I see us in the next 5 years. I see us as $1 billion company. Never been done before. 10,000 plus leaders, 100,000 plus in our agency force, agents across the nation, across the world. Never been done. It's never been done. That fast, this young, it's never been done. Why? How? I'm spending in correspondence to where I see us going, not where we're at. We're like, don't do that. Don't spend that. Don't save more. Do this, do that. You should already have this for yourself. You should already have that for yourself. And myself thinks, why can't I beat everybody that came before us? It's not, everything isn't a competition. To me, it is. Everything is. To me, it is. And I spent too many years losing in areas that I think back as a child, I wonder if I could have won that. If I had the hunger I have now, the dedication, the clarity in the vision. I don't want to look back on life and not know. Spend not just your money, your time, your energy, your resources in correspondence to where you see yourself going. And the reason I said spend and not invest is because it's more relatable. Nobody invests, but everyone spends. Think of that. Nobody really invests. Everyone spends. That's why when people are like, I can't close today. Somebody closed them. I already spent money today. You already spent money today. Somebody closed you. Some marketing ad, some Starbucks coffee. Somebody closed you today. And one of my people were like, I can't close today. I was like, were you the better closer? Were you the better marketer? Do you have the best product market fit? It's a competition. You better figure it out. The last one. And this was number one, and I saved it for last because my favorite is the last one, and I wanted to savor it. I wanted it to be last, obviously, hoping that you watch the entire video, but more importantly, to encompass the importance. None of this matters if I don't have my faith, my personal belief in Jesus Christ, my belief in my Savior who died for my sins, who I've prayed to since I was a young man. And I've had prodigal son moments of running away from God and running away from Christ and not knowing where I was going in my life. And I've had seasons of fog and seasons of questioning my own being on, did I do the absolute best I could have? Was I operating with the utmost honorable intentions and values? And I'm always reminded by my faith and in prayer and by just putting on some worship music every morning and reminded by God that I'm saved by grace through faith. And by his grace, it's not by my works, but his grace that allows me to enter his presence and his kingdom for eternity. And it is not a Band-Aid or a get out of jail free card of, you have my grace, go do whatever you want to do. Treat people however you want, take whatever you want, think and speak and do as ever you please. That is not God's grace. God's grace is a combination of wisdom and knowledge and understanding that I know that's wrong and I would do my absolute best not to do the wrong things. But I know I've fallen short and every sin is equivalent in God's eyes. And I know if I seek God above all things, everything else will be added unto thee. Everything. If I seek God like David did, a man after God's own heart, I know I'm going to be taken care of. I'm not perfect at all. Like I don't even feel I deserve to even preach in a way that I do to some of our people and even to you guys right now in this video. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm not a pastor. I swear, I smoke cigars. Like I get angry. I lose my temper. I question, did I make the best decision for everybody here? Could I have helped that person more? Did this person get hurt from this? Like I'm just a regular dude, but I'm acknowledging I can do better. And my belief is that God has helped me through everything. Jesus has helped me through everything. And I pray that I always keep God first. I always pray. I never lose my heart, my mind, my soul. It always stays focused and directed on God. That is the most important thing. Without God, I'd be nothing. So I don't know if you have a relationship with God, but if you don't, I invite you personally to download the Bible app, look up a YouTube video on Jesus. On one of my favorite churches is Stephen Furtick, Elevation, and just have a conversation. Reach out. You know what I mean? Reach out to me. I'll help you out. But just throw up a prayer, read a little verse, and see about converting and giving your life to Christ. And I promise to be the best decision out of all the money, the materials, the advancement, and the speaking of war and strategy. There's no better decision you can make than having your soul intact. Everything's a gamble. The gamble you take with not believing is that there is no eternity, or there's an eternity of bliss that everybody just goes and there's no requirement, and we just do whatever we want in this world. But the alternative is there is an eternity with Jesus Christ. But the only way to heaven is through Jesus, his belief in Jesus. That is the alternative. That is the alternative. That's the gamble with believe in a higher power and not. And regardless, whatever your beliefs are, we're all brothers and sisters under this universe, on planet Earth, whatever. So I appreciate you. Hopefully you found some value. If you did, like, subscribe, share with somebody. These were the top 10 things to survive in 2024 in your 21st century. Have a great day.